There's a side to this person that they don't normally express to others, especially in romantic connections, that has come out very unexpectedly, very suddenly, or they have gradually tried to expose you to this aspect of them, this hidden side of themselves that has to do with like vulnerability, deep emotions and sensitivity, aspects within self that at times are very confusing for them to deal with or to come to terms with. In previous romances and in other interpersonal relationships, they were taught to sort of hide or suppress or downplay this aspect of themselves. They had not considered this to be part of their strengths. But with this energy of you were never afraid of my darkness, you are helping this person redefine how they look at that sensitive side. This is somebody that, in addition to kind of showcasing this to you and getting a lot of positive feedback from you, they are also internally kind of exploring this sort of like dark side, the yin aspect of themselves, this receptivity, this kind of primordial void that they have inside, that feminine aspect. And they are starting to have more respect for that. They are starting to listen to that intuition more. They're starting to harness this side of themselves and bring that more into the dominant aspects of how they move through their world. So this could be somebody that was sitting predominantly in like a very strong masculine energy, and you have allowed this person, through your receptiveness, through your attentiveness, and through your respectfulness, to start to incorporate more balance within themselves, more of this dark side being brought up to the forefront. And this doesn't mean darkness like negativity or, anything that is very toxic. It is darkness in terms of the yin polarity, the feminine polarity. Everybody has yin yang polarity, masculine, feminine polarities of energy, active and receptive polarities of energy within self, regardless of gender. And this is something where this person had previously kind of put that sort of yin intuitive aspect of themselves that was hidden, that was underdeveloped, that was not something that they used to navigate through the world for the most part, and certainly not in interpersonal relationships, and especially not in romance. This is the person that was always kind of used to being in that strong masculine energy, that can do attitude, that very, assertive kind of energy, or even sort of having to kind of suppress their own emotions and be the strong one for their partner, for other people. And the experience with you is helping this person to start to have new appreciation for that sensitivity within. They're starting to look towards their own emotions with more respect, less fear, and more of an understanding that that's just as much a part of them. Kind of these sensitivities, maybe even like romantic aspects within themselves that were difficult to express in previous connections, that seem to come forth very easily. A tenderness that it feels natural to exchange with you, that they are starting to look at this as just as important, just as much a part of their strength as the ways in which they are able to keep their emotions in check, turn their emotions off when the situation necessitates that. As much as this may be somebody that is a problem solver, a planner, they use intellect and their mind a lot as far as navigating through the world, or how they've shown up in previous romances. And so they have a lot of gratitude for you for holding space for this person as this kind of recessed aspect of them comes to the surface. We also have I can't stop thinking about you. It's maddening. So the more this person explores that yin polarity within, their own feelings and emotions, moving away from looking at that with like an energy of shame, and starting to understand, the sensitivity, this desire to be nurtured, a desire to nurture another person, that is part of my strength. Ways in which I can be vulnerable, I can be expressive, I can even just sit in the place of uncertainty and fear without judgment. And that is just as much a show of strength as times where I just kind of like buckle down and show up, put on a brave face, and move forth anyway. And this is helping this person to start to think of you as like a very significant person in their life. Like in general, you're a very significant person that they've encountered at this time in their life. And as far as romance is concerned, this is somebody who is looking towards the idea of, as things progress between the two of you, as things develop, as things move forward, which again, this like can do attitude, a strategist, a planner, they want something more with you. They are also entertaining the idea of this being a significant love in terms of like great loves that they've had in their lifetime. You are among those people already that they're like, I could see you fitting into that category of the great loves, or maybe even the greatest love that I've experienced, because you haven't sort of forced this person to like open up, talk about their emotions. You haven't given them ultimatums, which it feels like past partners might have done, and that just kind of backed this person into a corner and caused them to shut down. It's like you've radiated at a very kind of self-assured energy. You hold balance within yourself that is modeling for this person how it is that they can kind of like reach in, access that part of themselves that isn't easily kind of showcased. It's not usually presented, or they've been taught to kind of hide that or lean away from that, and to instead bring that to the forefront, which is helping them to feel more balanced inside of themselves emotionally and energetically. It's like when they're with you, they feel a sense of empowerment, but it's almost like a certain degree of pressure that they always carry inside of themselves, which it feels like is part of that mechanism to kind of suppress that sort of yin aspect, that sensitivity within. That pressure valve is released. And there's a sense that even if they're not necessarily opening up to you about things, just as they're kind of like holding that inside of themselves, showing up in your connections with kind of like an internal understanding of what's happening with them emotionally, efforts that they have made to sort of share that with you to a certain extent, or kind of give you a peek behind the curtain to this sort of shadowed aspect of themselves. After encounters that you have, or efforts that they make romantically that go really well, and as they sit and then just kind of mull things over, they think about things, they reflect on your experience with one another. It's helping them to like come into this place of having that deeper appreciation for this other aspect of themselves, which is already factoring in to something which they see as like an important quality. They are already expanding as a person in terms of the ways in which they're coming to appreciate things they hold innately within themselves. And it is simply through your presence in their life and how things are organically unfolding between the two of you that is helping this person not just to like feel something deeper for you or have a deeper appreciation for the time you spend with one another, but a deeper appreciation for themselves as they are as a person, like their range and capacity to feel things, to listen to that intuition, even as far as like how much they give, or times where they kind of stand still in the connection, honoring that as well. It's something that it's helping them to kind of think outside of the box in terms of like approaches that they've taken to previous romances that have been successful or have been failures, and to take leaps of faith in new directions, which it feels like they've already done little by little with you. And it's getting like a very positive response from you, which is helping them to be encouraged to continue down this pathway of self-exploration and expressing themselves in a more unique or meaningful way to you than they have before with other lovers. And this is all factoring into that strategist within that says, yes, this is something which isn't just yielding like positive results between the two of you and as things are developing, but inside of themselves, it is also yielding more of a positive relationship with themselves, or like an understanding that things that they had previously kind of stuffed away in the shadow, they had maybe equated it with like a negative quality, darkness in the form of something undesirable. They're starting to reevaluate that and see that that sensitivity, it's actually a strength. Like intuitively, they're kind of like, they know when to sort of bring something forth. They know when to give you that peek behind the curtain. They know how to listen to themselves, like, yeah, this is the right time to be more expressive, or to even be open to you expressing yourself. All of those exchanges, it feels like, are helping to bring some aspect of them up to the forefront, which they're thinking of already at this stage, wherever you're at with one another. This is the makings of something that has the ability to be a very like rewarding partnership, not just something that's fun in the here and now, but something like on a personal level is very rewarding. We also have, you bring out the best in me because you see the best in me. So they see a lot of the potential to have kind of like a balanced energy that you carry inside of yourself that may manifest differently for what it'll look like for them, but they see that potential mirrored within you. This is somebody that it feels like they're very encouraged and very enthusiastic to try new things in terms of like forms of self-expression as far as this connection is concerned, because how you've approached them, maybe just who you are as a person or your preferred love language, how you've been relating to them, this is different from how other lovers have shown up. It's almost like with you, there is not a need for this person to like bottle up their own emotions. Yeah, they can show up in that can-do attitude, being the strong one, um, kind of making sure to sort of prioritize your happiness at times, to make sure they do things to kind of like make you smile, make you laugh, make you have a good time with them. But there's also a space for expressions that they can make to you that it feels like have created some sort of response, even in the form of positive feedback, which it feels like gives this person a lot of reinforcement, a lot of reassurance that they're taking the right approach, that what they're sharing with you, how they're showing up, how they're expressing themselves, or holding space for you to express yourself, that this is just redefining an aspect within that they thought of as a weakness, but it's been a strength. It's been like an unrealized strength the whole time. And so they're looking to you and this situation as something that is kind of like reshaping the balance within. It's not like making them a better person, but it's helping them to kind of like shift the approach that they are taking as far as like the idea of love is concerned, specifically in this connection with you, but also in terms of like the loving relationship that they are cultivating with themselves or redefining with themselves behind closed doors. You are helping to kind of reframe the balance this person has on that idea of self-love. The loving experiences between the two of you translate to something where they're able to kind of speak to themselves better. They're able to think better about themselves. They're able to think even differently about themselves. They're starting to kind of question, maybe past connections didn't work out for me because there was this beautiful and very like rich part of myself that wasn't invited to the table, that it wasn't the right mix between myself and another person emotionally or energetically, personality wise, to where there was an opportunity for this to come forth and it to be responded to positively or reciprocated. And they are definitely able to pinpoint you as a person who represents like a turning point for them. Something that without them trying, like, let me try to be better, let me strive to do something different, it's just happening very naturally. A different approach. They feel very inspired and very encouraged to take that different approach. And all of this kind of aligns with something that you either consciously or unconsciously are showcasing to them as far as that balance of the yin yang polarity within yourself. So this is somebody that feels like deeply magnetized towards you, deeply drawn towards you, not as kind of like all up level and then at some point in time will align, but it's like you're coaxing this part of this person out from like a hidden side up to the forefront. You're giving the ways in which they may have kind of overgiven in the past, or made efforts that were very kind of strategic in romance. You're giving that part of themselves the opportunity to kind of take a back seat so the heart can take the lead. And all of this is based on what they see within you as a person who leads a very heart-centered life. You move through life with your heart wide open. You are brave enough to express yourself, even if that's in the form of like boundaries or articulating your own needs verbally or even just energetically speaking. And so this is something where a deep need within this person that has been unrealized up to this point in time has been this energy of kind of letting this like intuitive, sensitive, almost like an intense side of them, to let that come to the forefront. This is somebody that is like a very tender person. They want to nurture someone emotionally, and they want to be nurtured by another person emotionally as well. But the ways in which they've tried to go about that in the past, it feels like it's only skimmed the surface of what's possible. The kind of like emotional depths that this person possesses inside of themselves, that You're already deeper with one another on that energetic or even emotional level than they've been with anyone in a very long time. They sense you as someone who can handle that depth inside of them. Maybe you've given this person a peek behind the curtain of the emotional depths within you, and that's very enticing for them. They want to dive in. They're not afraid of the deep end with you. This is somebody that feels like will go the distance to continue to like show up in a more open way for you. They love this feeling of expressing a side of themselves that they had thought of as one thing before they met you, and now you've mirrored to them that actually the opposite is the case. That it's not a weakness. It's not like their soft side and that that's a negative thing. This is like strength within that vulnerability. This is kind of like untapped potential within them that was just waiting for someone like you, or for you specifically, to have the right kind of circumstance to express that, and to even explore that very personally in terms of their relationship with themselves. So, those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.